This is a Western Diamondback rattlesnake that I just found. I was actually getting ready to take a leak, and I stepped about 2 inches from him as he was coiled up in a sit and wait predatory pose, waiting for a mouse to come by. Since I wasn't a mouse or a potential meal, but instead a potential predator, he relied on his camouflage and sat perfectly still without moving or making a sound. Didn't try to strike, didn't try to bite, just sat there harmlessly.
And he looked like a pile of poo.
And my boys say he looked like a pile of poo. They're not far off. Well, I decided I'm going to have to relocate him because he is near one of our vacation rental properties. So I decided to hook him out into the open, get a couple of pictures, and then put him in a bucket and relocate him. I was noticing though he was exhibiting some very typical rattlesnake behavior I thought we should share. Notice how he is coiled up. He's ready to strike if he had to. He's using his rattle off and on as a warning. But you might have noticed earlier, and you'll probably notice it again in a second, he's never advancing. Instead, he's backing up. Well, now he's standing his ground. He's making a liar of me. But yeah, you see it a little bit there. He's moving backward. He's not coming toward the threat to attack it. He's moving away from the threat to escape it. He's only standing his ground now a little bit more than he was because he's learned that I'm not letting him escape easily, so he's reluctant to turn his back. But now there he goes. It's like, okay, guy seems to be too busy with the video camera. He's going to take off. There he is. He's coiled again, but still moving backward. Anytime he senses that the threat from me is renewed, he'll face me to strike if he needs to. But actually in this whole affair, he has not actually struck once. He's just posed prepared to do so. But all of his actual movements have been away from me. Has not come toward me once. I've moved a little bit closer here. So he's standing his ground firmly because he's afraid to take off. If we give him just a minute, he'll move. And he'll move away. He's nosing forward, but he's not going to come this direction. Let's see what he does. He might start to wonder if I've lost sight of him, lost interest in him, and just hold that position. That's what he's doing for right now. And typically that is a rattlesnake's absolute best defense, is to be motionless and hope you don't see them. Yeah, she's decided to go motionless because I haven't made any moves in a while. Let's see what happens. And I bring my hook in. See that? See the rattle there? That's a pretty good sized rattle. All the rattles are the same size and it's broken off at the tip. So there's been a number of rattle segments before this one that have broken off. So she's made it through a number of years out here. She's an adult. She might still grow a little bit, or she might stay just this size. There she is, moving away, not toward me, but away from me. She is not going to attack me and kill me. She is going to try to get away because she's afraid I'm going to attack and kill her. Well, in actual fact, I could either let her go on her way now or remove her from this area, remove her a couple hundred yards away. Because there is a rental property nearby and I don't want the guest here to freak out, and because the owners here have requested that any rattlesnakes I see near the house that I do relocate them. If this was actually my house, I would just leave it be. Tell my boys about it, but leave it here. But it belongs to friends of mine and I'm managing the place for it, so I need to respect their wishes, which are to move it. Not far, but move it. But before I do, I'm going to be sure this snake has some memories of this location. Unpleasant memories. So that it will decide, you know what, last time I was there, some big hominid with a hook kept moving me around. And I couldn't get away. It was very unpleasant. I don't think I'll go back there. I'll move to another part of my home range and avoid that particular spot. So right now, during this whole interaction, she's probably releasing pheromones that are actually stress pheromones, fear pheromones. That scent will remain here for a very long time. Other snakes coming across this area, other Western Diamondback rattlesnakes, will pick up that scent and they'll say, hey, something bad happened to a rattlesnake here. Maybe I shouldn't stay in this area either. And so they'll move on. All right. Well, time for me to go ahead and put this in a bucket and find a spot about 150, 200 yards away to move her to. And I'm going to try to get this snake to go into this 5-gallon water bottle. And hopefully the water company will wash and sterilize the bottle well before they refill it. Let's see how this works. I think this is going to be difficult. That was the first strike.
Ah! I don't go there. Okay,
there we
fine.
go. See that? As soon as she realized that, hey, this hole might be a place where I can retreat to, she went straight in, no hesitation. And that's just typical of rattlesnakes. They don't want trouble. We cause plenty for them. They don't want it. They want to be left alone, do their thing. And their thing is to eat rats and mice that we probably don't want around. So they're really very beneficial animals. Just got to be careful where you step. Pay attention to where you're at.
He was right there.
And if you do see a rattlesnake, avoid it. Avoid it, and you'll be safe. I was able to handle it and hook the snake around, but notice I never touched it, never pinned it, never tried to pick it up with anything other than a hook. But I wouldn't even recommend that you do that unless you have experience working with venomous reptiles. Now to go take my bucket full of snake, or my bottle full of snake, and find a place to release it. All right. Okay. It turns out that the biggest problem with using a 5-gallon water bottle instead of a bucket to transport this snake is that it's not too easy to get him out. What we're going to do is just leave the bucket here. It's a cool day. It's only about 72 degrees right now, but the sun is shining. So we got the bucket wedged up into the shadiest spot we could find, shade from the Socotia, and we'll just let the snake come out when he is good and ready. He should have no problem at all finding the exit. But we'll come back and check in a few minutes to be sure that he's out, and then retrieve our water bottle, and then take it home and wash it out really, really well before we give it back to the water company. That's it.